Hey kids, Treacle here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about Mariah's masterpiece, Butterfly. Butterfly was released in 1997 and had the huge hits Honey and My All, which became Mariah's 12th and 13th #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100. This was a pivotal time in Mariah's career. She was finally free of Tommy Mottola, at least in her personal life. So she is out there in the world having fun. The skirts are getting shorter, the girls are coming out, the outfits are barely there sometimes, but hey, Mariah's all about skin to the wind at this point in her life and we are loving it. As we know, Butterfly marked a change in sound for Mariah. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's where she went all R&B and it all went a bit weird. But really what she was doing was embracing her roots, and she was allowed to be free enough to go and play with R&B artists and hip hop artists. And this is something that she's been doing ever since. This is the album where she was most authentically herself and she was completely free creatively. And it's one of the many reasons why so many of us love this album so much. So let's get on and start rating this album. I'm using the same 5 factors as I always do. The first category is songs. This is simply how much do I enjoy the songs on this album. Honey is one of my absolute favorite album launch singles. When it comes to the battle between emotions, dream lover, fantasy, heartbreaker, lover boy, Honey is just at the top of the list for me. It's so slick, it's so smooth, it's dripping in smooth, sexy vocals. The song itself is dripping in sex. It's quite filthy if you really get into the lyrics. I love it. Then we've got smooth jams like 4th of July, Close My Eyes, Breakdown, The Roof. I mean, these songs, when I first got the album, they had to grow on me a little bit, but I was young and naive. But these songs now never get old. They are so smooth. We get soaring vocals on Butterfly, My All, Whenever You Call. I love a big belting ballad and I get plenty of scratches itched in that department. For me, I'm gonna have to give songs on Butterfly full marks. It's a 10 out of 10. It is my first 10. I really love all the songs on this album. The next category is lyrics, and I'm gonna jump straight in and tell you I'm giving this a 9.5. The songs on this album, the stories that she's telling in these songs. I mean, this is a woman who is now really maturing and coming into her own. She's telling the stories and experiences she's been through. I mean, she's been through so much at this point, before the age of 30. And songs like Close My Eyes, The Roof, the narrative throughout these songs. There's some really introspective personal work. Outside is a great example. Butterfly, the lyrics in there are just, I mean, that's the message that she was wishing somebody else would say to her, and she can encapsulate that in a song so beautifully. The lyrics are just absolutely amazing. These songs, without the music, they're poems. I absolutely adore these songs for many different reasons, but lyrics is right up there, so it is a 9.5. Next up is vocals. So on this album, we get a different quality, a different texture to her voice. She's really leaning into those whispery vocals, really silky smooth. Not every moment is a belting moment. Not every moment is a whistle moment. We still have them. We still live for those moments. But this album, she really played with her voice in a different way, I feel, and I really feel that lends itself well to the quality and the narrative of the songs. It feels like a very expressive, introspective album. Like she's leaning in and pulling a lot out and giving it to us, and the softer, smoother vocals really lends itself to the more personal album that I believe it to be. So I enjoy the different things she does with her vocals on this album. I'm giving the vocals on this album a 9 out of 10 because I feel like we get everything that I love about Mariah and then something new for the first time. She brings something different to the party with this album, and I love it. This album is a great example of the mastery that Mariah has in terms of stacking vocals. So when you break down a song, you listen to the lead vocal, the harmonies, the background parts. She's doing so much in these songs, and I love here on YouTube to find those videos where people have got their hands on the stems, the original tracks, and they're breaking it down, and you can really appreciate how much work goes into a song. So 4th of July is a great example where you can hear all the different parts to make the lead vocal, and then, you know, another part or two harmonizing with herself, and the background vocals and what's going on with the bridge, and in the background there's just so much. There's vocals stacked on vocals stacked on vocals, and I get sucked into like a YouTube watching spree, and I'm watching video after video, anything where it's a cappella or stripped and breaking it down, because I'm absolutely fascinated with how all these songs are constructed. So I really geek out on the vocals on this album. Yeah, it's a solid 9 out of 10. Next up, we have unity or cohesion, how well the album works as a single piece of work, a unit. Do I listen to it from top to bottom, or do I dive in for individual songs? Butterfly is an example of an album I really do love listening to from top to bottom. It is a masterpiece. This whole album is a mood in itself. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. I do dip in and shuffle things around a little bit sometimes. What I do sometimes actually is take Butterfly as like a bass playlist, and I put other things in as well. So I'll take some songs from Elusive Chanteuse and things and kind of mix it up. But anyway, in terms of listening to the album Butterfly, I will go from top to bottom 9 times out of 10. So I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Next up is longevity. So I'm considering how well has the album stood the test of time? Has it aged well? Has it had an impact on the music industry, pop culture, etc.? I'm giving longevity for Butterfly a 9.5 out of 10. I think it really has stood the test of time so well. In terms of accessibility, Honey and My All still hit really well with the general public. Those songs are going nowhere, but it's more about the overall album. A lot of people within the industry still point to this album as a massive influence for them, the jewel in the crown of Mariah's discography. And a lot of people, when they're compiling, people in the industry, when they're compiling their charts about the best albums, you know, over the past 25, 30 years, Butterfly keeps coming up. It really is up there. So not just in terms of best albums by Mariah, but best albums from around that time and best albums across however many years, you know, you want to go back. It kept coming up, like year end, decade end, 20 years ago, 25 years ago. It still comes up in all these charts. So a lot of people, if they're going to rank Mariah's albums, Butterfly will be at the top of that list for them. And that translates over to the fans. It is so beloved by us. Adding all of those scores up, that gives Butterfly a total score of 47 out of 50, which shoots it straight to the top of my leaderboard. I feel like each time I'm rating an album, it becomes the new favorite. But this is going to be perched at the top for a little while, I think. I don't know if it's going to come down. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not surprised that it is at the top right now. We'll see what happens moving forward. It really deserves it. I mean, I've already knocked off like hardly any points, but I feel like some people are going to come for me in the comments because it should be a perfect 50 or whatever. Before we finish, we have 2 more things to discuss. We have to pick a repeat and a skip. So first up, the repeat. If you are listening to the album and you get to play repeat on one song, which one would it be? Complete and total personal choice. This one I really did have to think about because it is difficult. I was considering Whenever You Call. I just love that ballad so much. Outside is just so beautiful, so personal, so relatable. But ultimately I ended on Butterfly. Butterfly would be my repeat because I think it just sums up that time in Mariah's career so well, and it's just a beautiful vocal, a beautiful lyric. I do repeat it a lot. Yeah, my repeat would be Butterfly. And next, the skip. If you have to skip one song when the album is playing, which one would it be? This is really, really tough. I feel like whatever I pick, I'm gonna get some hate. But ultimately, I did decide on The Beautiful Ones, which is a wonderful cover that Mariah did. I enjoy all the covers that she does. But because it is a cover, it isn't really part of, like, this is like such a close family of songs on this album. And this is like a guest song on it. And it is a little long. I have skipped it in the past a few times. Shh, don't tell. But I do love it. But I've got to pick something. I made the rules and I said I've got to skip something. So I'm going to go with The Beautiful Ones. So in summary, Butterfly scores 47 out of 50. My repeat would be Butterfly the song, and my skip would be The Beautiful Ones. How about you guys? If you played along and you scored the album, let me know in the comments. What would your repeat be? What would your skip be? Let me know. I'm really interested in all the albums, but this one in particular, because I really struggled to pick a skip and to pick a repeat. So yeah, let me know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for joining me. Remember to hit the like button, leave me a comment down below. I'm trying to reply to all of you. Hit the subscribe button. I will see you again very soon for another video. Cheers, thanks a lot.